What is up, DMV basketball fans, specifically George Mason basketball fans, because this is the George Mason preseason podcast coming straight from A10 Media Day. Just made the 4.5 hour drive back from Pittsburgh for the event. It was awesome overall, a really cool experience, and it was great to get some time one-on-one with the Mason contingent that were there. I thought they were really impressive, and honestly, all the student athletes and coaches were great at this one. Not just a homer thing to say that, but it really is just like a great collection of people that were representing these different schools, and it just, you can tell there's a lot of love for basketball, and A10 basketball specifically. So that was cool. I thought the Mason crew really acquitted themselves super well. Brayden O'Connor, who was there as the player representative for Mason, was just a super likable guy and just does a great job, and just singing the praises of his teammates. And I think this is going to be a really connected group and locked in, and the vibes might be a little better in the locker room even than last year. We'll see. Those are my words, not theirs, but just kind of the inkling you get from some of these things, that I think they're going to be pretty locked in and focused on basketball and having the right kind of leadership at the right moments. And, last year's team was great. There's a lot of fire and passion, but sometimes a little too much. And I always lean on the old John Thompson line. I'd rather calm down a fool than raise a corpse. But sometimes when you have too many people that are emotional like that, it just becomes kind of hard to regulate, and there's a lot too many ups and downs. So I think this group being a little more even keel will actually benefit them, and guys sort of purposefully speaking up or getting animated when they need to, as opposed to not really being able to control it. I think will be sort of just a big intangible upgrade for this team, and I'm saying upgrade where that might offset some of the air quotes talent loss that some people are projecting with this group. Just kind of leading with that, the A10 preseason rankings have Mason 6th, which they had them 6th last year, which Tony Skinn also pointed out during his presser. I said at the time last year, I thought that was crazy looking at this group. Now, I didn't know that for sure they'd go on to win the league, but I liked what they had on paper a lot. I think 6th is also not right for this group. To me, this is a top 4 team with the potential to be even better if one of these bigs pop, and we'll talk about the roster here a little bit more. Those are just guys I'm not as familiar with, so I'm not quite as confident, in saying what they'll eventually turn into. But I don't know that anybody knew, Jalen Haynes would be a first-team All-Player last year going into the season. They didn't expect him to be good, but somebody here on this group I think will stand out, and to me that's puts them right up there with local rival here, GW. You might not want to hear that, but I think they're going to be pretty good. VCU will be really good again. And then one of probably Dayton or St. Louis. I'm not quite as excited about this St. Louis roster as everyone else seems to be. They were very highly touted from the A10 crew, which, these guys know their league probably better than I do, but just these are my personal, rankings on things. VCU was pegged to finish first in the league with St. Louis coming in second behind them. I'm just, again, maybe not as familiar with some of their transfers or not seeing the vision quite as much. To me, that's a 5th or 6th kind of team. But hey, somewhere in that mix. So I think on paper, I've got Mason in sort of my second tier. I have VCU and GW in the top tier, and the next tier of, some combo of Dayton, Mason, and St. Louis. But again, if one of these guys, in the front court really stands out, then that changes some things a lot, because I think the backcourt and the wings are going to be just really good. And Tony Skinn talks about this in the episode, so I won't, tease it too much here, but these guys fit what they want to do. And this seems like the kind of team Tony Skinn intentionally wanted to build. Like, this seems like a very intentional roster construction. This wasn't just the best dudes we could get out of the portal based on money and availability and things like that. It seems like these are the people that fit the kind of things that they felt they needed from last year's group that weren't quite there. And I feel really good about this. There's going to be a lot of talk about the backcourt. You got Messiah Troutman, Jahari Long coming over after missing last season from Maryland, who obviously knows Tony Skinn from 2 previous stops before that at Maryland and Seton Hall. Corey Mincy's going to come in and just be a bucket for this team, I think. Fat Hill is also one, is just an amazing nickname, but 2, another dude that's going to be really interesting for them as well. I'm excited to see what he brings to this group. So there's just some options there, and obviously I haven't even talked about the guy they had representing them at A10 Media Day, and that's Brayden O'Connor, who was named to the first team preseason all-conference team. So congratulations to him. Going to be the leader for this team. I don't know if like Tony Skinn sees some of him in Brayden O'Connor versus, but they just seem connected on a different level. Like that is the kind of coach on the floor, and I think he'll be even more empowered to do that in his second year here. Talked a lot during the presser about having to kind of learn the point guard role on the fly for Brayden last year. And this year he won't have to do all of those things kind of by himself. There's going to be other guys to take some of that responsibility on. But I think he'll be just more equipped to handle it, and then also just be able to kind of take care of his own offense a little bit more. And I think we'll see a double-digit score there for sure. But also someone just seems like a little more confident in himself. This is a dude that I hope that this preseason accolade just lets him know just how good a player he is, because he doesn't always strike me as someone who kind of gets that. So I think this will be really cool for him to take that step forward and really kind of be the engine to drive a lot of what they do here. But I'm really excited about the forward spot for this team. I love Dola Adebayo coming over from Mount St. Mary's. Got to see him a good amount last year here, being in the DMV adjacent, as we call the Mount. But just a really versatile guy, I think, is honestly the word versatility comes up a lot in these convos, but I think he really fits that. And some of what they lose from both Zach Anderson and Woody Newton, I think Dola can do that, but also play a little bit more in the front court here as well. They could maybe even do some small ball five at times. It might be a little bit of an adjustment for him to kind of take that step up at first to the A10 level here, but I think over time he's going to settle in really well and just be that kind of Swiss Army knife guy that this team really needs. Also bring in 6'6" Malik Presley that can be kind of a guard wing, maybe play some three, maybe even the little four here at times if they want to go smaller. And then one of the freshmen that's coming in here that I'm really excited about, one they have on the guard position, I should have mentioned freshman Devin Booker coming in, and shout out Isaiah Skinn being on the roster here as well. But of the freshmen, Emmanuel Conga coming over from Mount Zion. When this commitment happened, I just love that fit for both teams. I feel really good about what he's going to bring to this group longer term. He's a freshman. He's going to need some time to acclimate here, but I think long term it'll be great. So it'll be kind of TBD what he can, do in year one here. But I think Dola is a really good guy for him to learn from and behind for this first year potentially. But don't be surprised if he pops. He's an athletic freak. Like he's going to be awesome in transition. He's going to protect the rim as a weak side shot blocker and things like that too. And I even see him in the pick and roll as a roller and a lob threat. So I think he can do a lot of really unique stuff for them here as well. And then the front court, it's kind of I don't want to say mixed bag in a negative way, but more so like a pick your poison depending on the matchup. We've got Nick Ellington coming in as more of a rim running, maybe undersized big, I would say, but just athletic guy, can shot block and be a lob threat and things like that. You've got Riley Allenspach coming in from Samford that played well against them last year, which seems to be a theme in college basketball. If you play well against us, we're going to go out, and if you're in the portal, if you're a Mason killer or whatever the case may be, like we're going to go out and try to get you, which I don't blame guys for, because you got a firsthand look at just how good they can be. I got some skill and some touch around the rim, so I think he'll be really interesting. Stash Sivka, one of the two returners coming back from last year's team with Brayden O'Connor, more of a floor spacer, and I think a skilled big man and can step out a little bit. So I'm excited to see him, on the court and contributing to this team. And obviously his Stash and Stripes videos are just great. The Mason content team is incredible with that too. So nice to see him being able to contribute on the court here this year. So I think any given matchup, any of those three guys, may get the call, and that's cool to have three different bigs who have largely three different skill sets. So I think this will be just a cool group. And like I said, one of them really needs to establish themselves as the guy, and the other two more as sort of the change of pace options around him. But if that happens, this team could rise through the rankings and apparently surprise the rest of the A10 here. So it's enough for me babbling here up front, but let's just get into the convos. So first, you're going to hear from Brayden O'Connor, again, first team, all-conference team in the preseason here. Just good stuff from him, as you would expect from kind of a veteran leader of this group. And I think it's going to be a big year for him. So glad he was there to represent the team, and just kind of stands for everything that this program talks about. You hear a lot about culture in basketball, and I think he's that kind of guy. And then we'll transition right into Tony Skinn to close it out here, and some good insight from him as well. So stay tuned and enjoy, and let us know if there are any particular guys on this roster you want to hear from in any preseason convos, and I'll try to line those up between now and the start of the season. All right, thanks. All right, let's get to Brayden. All right, I'm here with Brayden O'Connor, starting guard for George Mason University. You guys are coming off a really good season last year, shared of the A10 crown with VCU. Obviously, just a little short in that title game. I don't know, any payback on your mind this season? Is this unfinished business? Like, what's the motto for the season coming in?
Obviously, we're looking to win a chip this year.
There you go.
We got the regular seasons. We got with our co-champs VCU. They ended up getting the best of us by a little bit, small margin in the final. Payback, I think we're coming for the whole league.
There you go.
I think we're coming for everybody. But obviously, we would love to get a sweet victory over VCU.
Nice. Yeah, I think without certain ones on the calendar just mean a little bit more. Playing them,
especially last year, they got the best of us, so we got to get the best of them this year.
I like it. Just let's talk personal stuff here for a minute. Here's some personal news for you. You got married in the offseason.
I did get married. I got my ring with me right now.
There you go. Congratulations. That's going well so far.
It's going great.
She's a basketball fan?
She is a basketball fan because of me.
Okay, got it. That's a good way to be.
It's a great way to be.
Awesome. Okay, well, congrats. Another piece of personal news here, but this is a little more basketball related. Get named to the first team all A10 preseason. Yeah. Congratulations on that, first of all. And just, I don't know, how does that feel? Are you soaking that in at all, or are you already moved on to get ready for games?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. I mean, I think lots of athletes or anybody who gets like awards or a good shout out, they're excited for it, but obviously we're looking for the next big thing. We have to constantly be improving, but it's nice to sit back and see that you've been appreciated. But I would say that I think I'm only able to receive that award because of the amazing things we did last year, and we are slowly receiving the respect that George Mason deserves, and I appreciate it. It's a wonderful feeling.
Staying with preseason stuff here for a minute, they have you guys slated 6th in the preseason poll. Any bulletin board material that comes with that, or is that something you guys ignore?
We don't think about it too much. Obviously, last year we were selected 6th as well, or 7th, or something like that, and you saw what happened. Yep. So we made our noise. I would just say we come back, do the same thing, but this time win it all.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you guys know this better than anybody. You saw the competition last year. Yeah. You see who was in the locker room with this year. Yes. How are guys looking so far in the first couple of days of practice?
So throughout the summer, we had a bunch of workouts, and everybody was looking really, really solid. They're all in shape. They showed up in shape, and obviously we got a bunch of conditioning. Athletes don't like it, but I think the guys this year, we're in a better spot than we were last year at this time. And the guys that we brought in to transfer portal, they are more versatile than we were last year. So on paper, we're looking better.
I love that. I think versatility is something that this coaching staff obviously prioritizes. Yeah. You were a big part of that last year, coming in, basically playing point guard for the first time in your life on the fly. Yeah. Don't have to do that as much this year. You got some help here, but it's nice that you can.
Yes.
Any expectations for what your role will look like for the season?
I think the role that I am stepping into is more of a scoring, still being versatile, making good reads. I think playing the point guard on the fly helped me as a player. It made me a better player. Now I can see things that I couldn't see before on the court, and even defensively. I think the main thing for me is communication. My role to speak up, be a leader, and that's something that I'm happy to step into.
Does that free you up at all mentally when you're not thinking about, I've got to get this guy this ball at this place? And there's so many things that come with being a point guard and the responsibilities there, especially doing it for the first time.
Yeah, I think that last year, again, I had guys that helped me, such as Skinn, Lou. They helped mold me into the player I am today, which is the combo guard 1 and 2, which is my assumed position. But last year, obviously, I had to learn it on the fly. I think that it's a good transition to be able to know how to play a position while playing your position. So I think that they helped me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the expectations are for the off guards in this offense because you've had to set them up. That makes a lot of sense. You had some returning vets to lean on last year, coming in, guys that were on the team, Jared and people like that. But this year, you're kind of that guy for this team. What's the mindset change for you? Are you passing along some of the things you learned about how to fit in with this coaching staff and how they want to play?
I think the level that Coach Skinn is at, to recruit guys, like blue-collar guys, helps it like tremendously. I think we all have the same goal in mind, is just win. Yeah. It's like the competitiveness, the toughness, being able to do it consistently. That's a word that he uses a lot, consistency. and his ability to find those like-minded guys. It makes it easy for when they come into transition. Obviously, for freshmen, it's different. But for the guys coming in from the portal, they're understanding it. They're picking it up quick, like really, really quickly. And in terms of returning guys, we actually do have another one, Stash Sivka.
Yep.
He's been playing really, really well, and I think that he's going to be a big addition to us this year.
That's great. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of talent, and just getting them the reps and the chances to put that together. So that's great. Any things that you worked on in the summer here that you've added to your game that you're going to get to show off this season?
So I don't want to say too much so that
the scouting report can't be out there. That's right.
But my ability to hit shots off the dribble, I worked on that a lot. I was able to get some last year, but obviously in more of a dishing and passing role, wasn't able to show it as much. But I think I'm just excited to show my overall scoring ability. I'm happy to show that off this year.
The new faces on the team, obviously you can't watch everybody in college basketball, so I'm sure you weren't super familiar with all of them coming in. I know you're going to say all the guys in a positive way here, but can you give me maybe one of the new guys that surprised you, or you weren't familiar with his game, but you're gelling so far?
That's a really good question. I would say, it's tough to narrow down to one.
You give me a couple then if you want.
No, I'll give you one, because then if I start singling out a bunch of other guys, they're going to be upset at me when I go back. I would say one guy that stood out to me, any of the new guys.
It can be a returner too, if you want to say Stash again.
I do want to say Stash, because his ability to rebound, his ability to shoot and stretch the floor is high level, and his basketball IQ. He's from Europe, and their style of basketball is different than America, as well as Canada, from where I'm from. His ability to make a read like on the fly is insane, which is why I'm excited to play this year, because I know he's going to play this year, and he's improved dramatically. But I'll give you one. Don't be mad at me if you guys watch this. Riley Allensbach. We played him last year at Sanford. He is very different than what we had last year. He's able to stretch the floor, and he's more fundamentally sound than we had last year in a good way. So, yeah.
I think the temperament is a little different with this group overall. We had a couple maybe more outwardly fiery guys on last year's team. But is anybody, you need to have some level of outward fire, I think, on teams. Anybody kind of picked up that void a little bit?
Well, you can count on me this year for that. Okay. I think in practices I've been very obnoxious, whether my coaches like it or not. I'm very loud. Like I said, I had to step into that communication a little bit more. But I would say you'll be surprised to watch Corey Mincy this year.
Okay.
His ability to just be loud, and he's similar, loud, and just hit some shots here and there. He's very, very, very good.
Awesome. That's great to hear. I'm sure Mason fans listening to this love that. Just what does this group need to do to reach that ceiling? To win the league again? What do you need to maximize on?
I think the thing we need is reliance. I think we need to be reliant on each other. We need to be able to lean on each other's shoulders whenever, if going bad, going good. Because there was a stretch last year where we were 2-3 or something like that, and nobody knew we were going to have the season we had.
Right.
But we stuck with it, stuck with the process, and I think this year, going into this year, it's going to be resilience, it's going to be toughness, grit, just like Coach recruited a bunch of guys for.
Obviously, Patriot pressure was a big slogan with this team. You mentioned the versatility. It seems like you guys are really well suited to play a more even aggressive style than last year. Get out and run more. Has that been a focal point for the coaching staff?
So it has been a focal point. I think that because we have more dynamic guards this year, they're more athletic than last year, we're able to get out. We're going to get out, and the fans are going to love. We're going to be rocking the rim at EVA. They're gonna love it this year. Not saying last year we didn't. We had a bunch of highlight plays, but this year there's going to be a lot of highlights. That's all I'm going to say.
I was going to ask you to close with something for the fans, but I think that's the perfect closing. So that's great. Brayden, thanks very much. Congratulations on getting married, on the individual success here, and congrats in advance on the team success you guys are going to have this season.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with George Mason head coach Tony Skinn. Tony, you guys are coming off a really good year last year, relatively new group this year. Any expectations for fans in terms of style of play changes or anything like that?
No, I think, like I said earlier, even though we're losing our personnel, the identity of who we are does not change. From that standpoint, we're still going to have, we're still going to be electric defensively. We're going to get after it defensively. We're going to change defenses all the time. I think we have a different group where our versatility and our length is a little bit more. We have a little bit more depth there. And so for the most part, you're going to see the same attitude we have defensively for the last 2 years. Nothing changes there, even though, the number and the jersey name might be different. It'll still be the same.
Patriot pressure was a theme of this team, especially last year's group. You mentioned the athleticism, the versatility this year. Is that something you want to be able to double down on and really get after guys, press more, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. As a coach, you grow as a coach. You learn what kind of works for you. And obviously, we found some success in 2 years with just our defensive mindset and losing the guys that we lose. We really got after it in the portal with guys that fit that, evaluating guys that understand the assignment defensively, guys that have natural abilities to be able to do some of the things that we need them to do on the floor. And so I'm happy with the group that we have. And I do think from top to bottom, we've got some competitive guys that just naturally just know how to guard and compete at a high level on really both ends of the floor, but obviously defensively.
I think last year's team, there was a lot of focus on Jalen, and guys talked about the guards, but also the forward spots are really important position for the way you guys want to play. Somebody that covers a lot of ground, can stay in front of people on the perimeter. You've got some really versatile forwards. I think this year you've got Dole Adebayo coming in, Emmanuel Conga. Mm-hmm. Is that something you guys looked forward to? Is just somebody that could sort of play that 3-4, maybe even some small ball 5 sometimes?
Yeah, length, athleticism, and versatility. It makes my job a lot easier, sometimes harder, because you want to get certain guys in the game. And, it's hard to play 10, 11 guys. You got to find your rotation of, 8 to 8.5 is what I always say. Dole is a guy that played in the NCAA tournament last year. He's a guy that we played and we watched on film from an evaluation standpoint. We watched him play against Miami and beat Miami down at Miami, and then to watch him in our own backyard, it gave us just a sense of who he was from an evaluation standpoint. Again, 6'8", 6'9", that can do a little bit of everything. He's a lot more physical than what you've probably saw at the 4 position. He can shoot it, and obviously defensively, we're able to switch and do some different things with him and his length. Emmanuel Conga, obviously, he's a freshman, and he's got the one skill set that probably nobody's had since we've been here with his shot. Blocking ability, his rim running ability, and just putting pressure on the defense when our guards get down and touch paint. And so we also have Riley from Samford. Riley's got an opportunity to do a little bit different than what Jalen was for us. He can step out and shoot the 3. He's a guy that's capable of really being able to stretch your offense for you. And then I can't count out Nick as well, Nick Ellington, who is a 1,000-point scorer, played at Murray State in competitive MVC league. And so, we've got a different combination than we did last year. I think we're gonna have depth, and honestly, to be able to get these guys in the game, we're gonna have to be defensively getting after it and getting guys in and out. And again, you're not gonna see a platoon or anything like that. But in order for me to get some of our younger guys some minutes, especially early on, we're gonna have to apply a lot more Patriot pressure than probably you've seen in the last 2 years.
I think fans will like hearing that. It's fun for fans to watch you guys kind of get up in guys.
Absolutely, it's a big reason why we've.
You mentioned Jahari. He's somebody who missed last season with an injury. How's he doing health-wise?
He's good. He's good to go. I was a little worried about him earlier in the summer, but he's progressed tremendously, and he's in all our segments, live on 5-on-5 live, all those different things. He's been competing, and I think he's right where he needs to be for us.
Just last question: what do you guys need to do to maximize where you want to be and compete for another A10 title?
For one, we've got to continue to just get better. I got to continue to learn each other. Such a new group. The competition part is not an issue because these guys have showed up. They're coachable. They play with intensity. They've learned in the culture. But now it's just about putting that all together. You can have all the talent in the world and can't win games, right? And so just our cohesiveness and our continued connectivity is going to be a major part of who we are and what we need to do in a non-conference. I think that's the most important part, right? We've got a slew of home games, and we've got to be able to protect home floor. And so getting to know each other and just kind of figuring things out is just, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's a completely different team. The success that we had, I'm happy for those guys. But I want this group to make sure that they have their own experience, whatever that is, we're ready for it.
You mentioned protecting home court. Obviously, a huge part of that is having a good fan environment.
Yeah.
Any message for the Mason fans?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, we are Nova's team, right? And would love for just the support that we've had in these last 2 years. It's not a secret that that's a major part of the reason why we've been successful. When I took the job, Patriot Pressure was the messaging that I wanted to give to our supporters and our fans to make sure they come and support us at a high level. And we've done that. And I still think we have room to grow and continue that.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Tony. Good luck this
Yeah,
season.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Brian, you got